Are you a sports fanatic? You get off on college football, college basketball, the NBA, the NFL, golf, ping pong, and sports betting. Wait, back up. Ping pong? What the hell? This is Jump Shots from the Goal Line.
Watch out! He's got getting away from the top speed.
Hot takes and hilarious banter on everything from college football to the NBA and everything in between, except ping pong. And we're not just flying solo. We're bringing in some heavy hitters from the world of sports. Journalists, players, legends. You name it, we've got them. Why should they have all the fun?
Bryant for the win. Bang!
This is Jump Shots from the Goal Line. Where every episode is a slam dunk. And now your hosts, Jonathan Dugan and John Henningsen.
Oh, dude, I swear to God, every time we play that intro and our LinkedIn pictures come up.
It's it's a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice.
I'm glad we're on the same page with that one. It's funny, dude, because today at work, I'm in leadership shit at work, and I'm 27 people across the country, different role types, field reps, whatever. And my fun fact was that we do this podcast, and one of the field reps in Dallas, Texas, looked us up and goes, "Is John Henningsen your co-host?" And I was like, yeah, John? He's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, the brand runs deep, buddy. The brand runs deep.
I mean, I'm glad to hear that, they know who we are out there, but I guess maybe it helps that you use our weird pictures. I don't know. Maybe there's some really quality, as you mentioned, brand recognition for those pictures and the names out there. But we certainly cross paths with a lot of the same people, so not too shocking.
Jordan Olson says, but Dallas sucks. And I think we both agreed on that one now. You've been a staunch Dallas hater, and ever since I got stranded there, I agree.
Yeah, I'm an all-time Dallas hater. I've always hated Dallas. I think actually I haven't talked to Jordan about that before. I think it's come up. But, it's just like a little political alignment for us. But, yeah, I've always been a bit of a Dallas hater.
Yeah, dude. Well, hey, we got a pretty action-packed show for sure. Obviously NFL free agency is just going nuts right now. I feel like players are just moving to rival teams, crazy moves are happening. So we'll get to that. We also have March Madness coming up. We are in the midst of conference tournament bullshit going on. It's going to be wild. U of A just lost to USC because it was a meaningless game that didn't mean anything. That's my opinion, at least. But dude, what's going on? I know you had Pops in town. How was that?
Yeah, it was a good time. We were able to hang out, got a round in. It was, nothing too crazy, but it was a nice little hang. So nice to see him. Nice to have him around. And yeah, I think just like you, I followed the Cats last week and was stoked to see them put a final hurting on UCLA to sort of stamp that rivalry, although we may see him in the tournament again. Time will tell. But I'm with you. I didn't really care about the USC game. I mean, it doesn't bother it. It doesn't bother me. I mean, I think there's probably a general little panic, and Cats fans like to go, "Oh yeah," but but it's fine, man. They did their job. They won the Pac-12 conference. They got a chance to go win the tourney. They're going to end up at the 1 or 2 seed. I think it's sort of a tomato situation from that standpoint, but I am still excited about them being in Vegas and going on a deep run. I'd love to see them win it. I'm sad that I won't be there. I love being at that tournament in Las Vegas. Had every opportunity to go. Yeah, I had every opportunity to go. There's no limitations around why I didn't. I just wasn't in the mood for Vegas. I just wasn't.
No, dude, 40 hit and now Vegas is not your thing, or what?
No, I'm not saying that. I just sometimes you want to go, sometimes you have the itch, and sometimes you don't. I mean, I just wasn't really feeling that itch. I don't know. Just wasn't not calling to me right now. When the time is ready, when the body knows, it'll it'll find its way. It's like,
When the liver beckons.
yeah, it's like love. You can't force things like this.
No, especially Vegas, because that's how you get VD. So, absolutely.
You have a story or?
Not one I'm willing to share on
Oh,
air.
okay. Yeah.
Hey, I will say though, this is probably one of my all-time favorite parts of the year. I mean, you have March Madness. That in its own is just an incredible beast. I wish I would have planned my vasectomy smarter, but I didn't. It's okay. And then you have NFL free agency, wild as shit. You have NFL draft coming up. That's going to be insane. This is easily one of my favorite times of the year. So buckle up, everybody. Henny and I are going to be bringing it to you.
I still can't believe you missed the opportunity to time your vasectomy that wrong. Like
I
guess that's what happens when you think with your balls.
Yeah, I came back to
or
work.
For your balls. How does that work?
Came back to work after paternity leave, and every male friend of mine was like, "Dude, you're an idiot. How do you go and get a vasectomy in the middle of nothing?" Literally the week before the Super Bowl, too. It wasn't even like that didn't even line up. It was meaningless, Jordan Olson says I subtly Wisconsin myself. I guess so, the only way I could have more Wisconsin myself, as Henny likes to say, is peeing with my pants all the way down at a urinal. So,
well, that's an Iowa thing. It's more of an Iowa specific. I won't, I'll hold off on whether that's a Wisconsin thing or not until I see further evidence. But I know for a fact it's an Iowa thing. I've seen it with my own two eyes.
But with March Madness, dude, I mean, like I said, we got conference tournaments this week. UNC suddenly in the top 4. They beat Duke. They look phenomenal. It's like clockwork, dude. You always know, like one of those two teams. I grew up a UNC fan. My mom's from North Carolina, so I grew up a Tar Heels. Never going to be a Blue Devil. Hell no. But, Hubert Davis got that team rolling. We got Purdue still doing things. Houston looks phenomenal. Future Big 12, conference mate. And then, there's just it's going to be a good tournament. What are your immediate thoughts looking towards the next few weeks?
I mean, we'll certainly have more to talk about it next week as we'll get some seeding, and then we'll probably have that on the table when we reconvene. But I'm just excited about conference tournaments in general, right? It's still a fun weekend to be had, to see who can, burst someone else's bubble, if you will, and sneak in. There's always that team. I mean, not always, but there traditionally will be that team that kind of slides in the back door there. So I'm honestly, like I said, I'll be locked into the Cats all weekend, Pac-12. That's actually like something because you're watching it all year. That's one of my favorite things, as we have kind of gone away from talking about gambling all the time. But if I was going to, if I were to partake, this would probably be a weekend where some money goes flying around a little bit, because you get to know these teams, you get to see the schedule, you have a pretty good feel for the conference. It's one of my favorite things to bet on, and why Vegas can be so fun. But thanks to DraftKings and all of the other partners out there that we've been waiting for calling on the sponsorship, that you can bet anywhere now. You can gamble anywhere now. So it doesn't really matter. So looking forward to a weekend of that, and to rival the Taylor Swift release of I don't really understand what's happening, but I guess you can watch Taylor Swift again for like the millionth time. So
Chelsea's in for sure. Your wife's
busy. She's like, honestly, I got some stuff I have to focus on this weekend. So she's like, go nuts, get out of here. She's actually pretty disappointed I didn't go to Vegas, but anyways, logistics.
It doesn't always work out. We understand for sure. We do have one question coming from Olson again. Plus or minus Pac-12 teams in the tourney. I think realistically it's only like 2, right? It's like us and Washington State.
Yeah, I don't know who else is really even knocking at the door. I mean, someone would have to go on a run, and they'd have to win it all, I think, right? I don't even think anybody can win 2 games and get in.
No, not really. I mean, the traditional powerhouses outside of us, UCLA and USC, terrible years going into the Big Ten. Great timing, guys. Love that for you.
Yeah.
And then Colorado, even though they have a potential top 5 pick, just again a weird year. Oregon always comes in every year with a lot of hype and then just shits all over themselves. So not a phenomenal going away party for the Pac-12 in terms of participation in the tourney, but U of A looks incredible. Like, even though they lost to USC, previous to that, absolutely incredible. They do have the awards happening. Is it tonight, or have they basically all been announced, right?
I think they've all been announced basically. So you have Caleb Love as your player of the year. I saw, I know Ballo's going to be a first team guy.
Yep.
You have Pella is a
Pella.
second team guy. I know Ballo was first team all defense. I know our guy Bradley was really shut out of everything, which was a little bit of a
Weird.
disappointment.
Should have got 6.
Do you think he gives? Yeah, and he gives good defensive effort too. So you'd like to see him on one of those teams at minimum. So an interesting mix. I mean, I'm kind of. I try not to worry about those awards anymore. I feel like it's long since been just like Travis Schumacher. I don't really ever understand what's going on. I mean, Sean Miller could win the conference every year, never win coach of the year. We could have the best record, never get the player of the year. It's West Coast voting. I don't really know what's going on. We talk about East Coast bias a lot, but we left to our own devices, we don't do a hell of a lot better. So
Yeah.
It's always been interesting to me.
Yeah, I'm kind of like weirded out too that like Kashad didn't get more love for like the defensive teams, because that guy, you throw him on
Honorable
anybody.
mention, I think, is all he got on that too. Yeah.
Weird, right? Like, but again, you're right, dude. Like at the end of the day, Arizona plays on the West Coast. They play in the Pac-12, which tips off. I mentioned it on a few episodes. A 9:00 tip-off is criminal, absolutely criminal. Larry Scott, you fraudulent asshole! How dare you leave and put George Kliavkoff, or however you say his name, who is equally as bad, in charge, and just leaving these teams tipping off at 9 p.m. Western Standard Time or Pacific Standard Time. Western Standard Time is not a real thing. But happy to go to the Big 12 where they take things seriously. They like to tip off at good hours.
We don't know. We don't really know. I mean, I don't. Maybe you do. I'm curious to see.
Here's the thing. I'll say this. Texas is normally 2 hours ahead of us. The majority of the teams in the Big 12 are within Texas or Texas adjacent. So if they want to have a 9 p.m. Mountain or Central Standard Time tip off, by all means, go ahead and do that. That's fine, because that doesn't affect your boy, right? I have a newborn.
Right in the sweet spot.
I have a newborn. I can't stay up that late anymore, So I'm excited about it. Big 12, though, by the way, if we're going to talk really quick about the tournament, they're pumping in some teams for sure, right? You got Houston out there. TCU might make it. There's a lot of Kansas, even though Kansas keeps tripping over their own feet. You know what I mean?
Houston, everybody's going to make it from the Big 12. Like it's going to be like everybody.
Yeah, it's going to be
it's
absolutely
not actually, but it's like going to be what, 8 to 10 teams.
Yeah, it's going to be bananas next year. Bringing in Arizona into that conference for basketball, that alone makes this like move worth it. When we look at the overall, like, I don't know, landscape of it, like outside of your traditional teams, right? Your UNCs, your UConn looks incredible. What do you think? Any teams you think can make a big splash?
So I mean, I got to see the bracket, man. We got to wait. Next week, I'll tell you. We got to see that bracket. We got to see who's got the matchups and what that looks like. What I am interested to talk about, though, and I'm curious to hear what you have to think, is RJ Jefferson doing that UCLA game. What are your thoughts on the full homer experience, either as a Cats fan or like, can you imagine if they did it in reverse? Would you hate it?
Yeah, like if they brought in, Byron Scott to do a game and he was just like, ASU, baby, I love it. Yeah. Like, yeah, no, I'm sure that would suck. But RJ did a great job. Dude, full homer mode. And why wouldn't he? He's got a freaking practice gym named after him because he donated a bunch of money. Yeah. Incredible player at the U of A. It's one of those things, I talk a lot about it, like, hey, who's your favorite Cat of all time, right? And a lot of people will bring up, I don't know, Luke Walton, Salim Stoudemire, we talked about privately. Incredible player. You'll bring up, just a litany of players. I feel like RJ kind of goes like remiss. Like people don't really bring him up as much as they should. He was a dog at U of A.
I never forget him because he was, pretty close to my timeline. A Phoenix kid, so we knew about him around the Valley. He was talked about in state. I don't even know if we brought this up on the podcast before, but I hung out with him and Luke Walton in San Diego on Mission Beach. I was trying to teach Richard Jefferson to speak Spanish, trying to teach Luke Walton to speak Spanish. They were trying to talk to girls, blah, blah, blah.
For people that
Weird
don't know,
story, weird
Kenny
night,
is
but
white. Okay, just for everybody to
yeah,
know.
in case you're wondering, yeah, my Spanish is, high school and college trained. Then, in the back of house and some kitchens and some restaurants at a time. So, it was solid. Wasn't by any means perfect Spanish, certainly better than those gentlemen. So they were looking for some tips, and they might have, partaken in a few different activities that night. They might have been a little loose, which your boy was probably pretty loose too. So, but yeah, I always have fond memories of those guys. And RJ was awesome in the league, man. I really thought at the time, I will say, I was like all in that he was the next Vince Carter. I thought he was at the time, that every bit of the closest thing that I've seen in terms of like raw athleticism. Now, obviously, he wasn't in the 99th percentile like Vince, but he's probably in 96. He was an incredible athlete and a hell of a player. I mean, just didn't probably have quite the shot that Vince had.
That era of Arizona basketball, by the way, is like insane when it comes to athleticism. Like Jordan Olson brought up Iggy, like dude, Andre Iguodala, like insane athleticism. RJ, you have all these just guys that could jump through the freaking gym. Sean Miller did a great job with it too, bringing Aaron Gordon, Rondé. He definitely had some guys too. But
Iguodala, Hassan, and Bynum, all like in the same dunk contest as freshmen.
We talking about Will Bynum?
That's talking about 3 NBA dudes. What we're talking about? Yeah, I mean, like that was ridiculous recruiting class. Bynum ended up at Georgia Tech, didn't last here, but we had dudes, and it was ridiculous. Those are the days of Midnight Madness and college basketball. Those rosters were built different. That 2001 team that RJ, which is where the Duke hate stems from specifically, where they lost in that national championship game. That's probably the best team that we ever assembled, honestly. I mean, obviously the 97 team won a championship, but that 2001 team was absurd.
Olsen says Hassan Adams as well. Great shout out, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I missed. We threw them in there. Bynum, Hassan, and Iggy. Those are the guys. Yeah.
Dude.
All same recruiting class.
You say him and you still like, there's just more and more you can, I mean, Nick Johnson was for Sean Miller also high hops. We're blessed. And now we have Tommy, and Tommy believes in Euro guys, and it seems to be working. Okay.
We're starting to get the bounce back, a little bit of the juice. Like Caleb's got some juice. Pella's got a little bit of juice, and Keyshawn definitely has juice. So we're turning back in the right direction. Caleb
will try to dunk on you.
Caleb will dunk on you. He will just once every 3 games will also embarrass himself a little bit. Yeah.
Let's talk about Caleb actually really quick. Getting Pac-12 Player of the Year. I think it was a runaway, right? There was nobody. Again, we did say Pac-12 had a down year. There were guys like the top 5 guy from Colorado, and like that could have made a little bit of a run at it.
Sure.
The dude from Washington State, Caleb Love, might have been like, and this is going to be a little hyperbolic, but like probably top 3 player in college basketball this year. Like the way that he just ran a team.
I think he should be in the conversation for a lot of national items, like whether it's an All-American team or what have you. Like I know it's deep when it comes to guards. There's going to be deeper conferences, guys who played better competition, but his numbers are great. And he led a top 5 team all year long. And it's not even close in terms of like who's the leader of the team, or at least in terms of who is taking the shots and kind of driving the offense. So I think he should get a lot of run nationally and a lot of conversation. Interested to see, because I feel like it's been a while since cats have gotten some love in that department. And but I don't know, it's just so college basketball is so weird. You just can't, like you just mentioned, you're like Washington State guy. It's so hard, even within your own conference. The guys are turning over so quickly. Like it's hard to really build a story around it. But Caleb has a story, so I think there's a good chance that maybe we do see some national love.
Yeah, I think it's like he's up there. Dalton Knecht from Tennessee had an insane year. That 40-point game against Kentucky that they lost, but still, like he's wild. You obviously have the freak at Purdue. Like he's good.
Yeah. Edie's gonna get
Yeah, Edie. Like, there's a few guys out there that definitely should get some love. Who's the dude from Houston? Is it Sheed? Is that his last name? I can't remember. He's very, very good.
It's gonna make us all look bad. No idea. Yeah,
I know.
I'm not sure.
I know. But overall, the college basketball landscape, I think this is going to be one of the better tournaments. I have CBS's, actually, no, it's Sporting News. They have a quick little preview. Let me go ahead and share the screen really quick, and we'll just go through it. Boom. So their number one seeds, Houston, obviously, UConn, Purdue. They have Tennessee in there. Do you think Tennessee gets in over Arizona?
By the strength of their conference, I wouldn't be mad if they did. So ultimately, it seems that way to me. I don't think that based on what I've seen the last couple of years, I don't think they spend a lot of time looking at these conference tournaments. I think it's really just a chance to punch your ticket. So I would presume this holds serve unless Tennessee has a bad loss and then we completely run the table. Maybe that's enough to flip the scales. But other than that, I think outside of that, I think if Tennessee wins a game, they probably hold serve, keep that one spot, and then look out for Caitlin Clark and the Hawkeyes to slide in there as well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that works. Yeah.
Going to number 2, they got North Carolina in there. I think North Carolina could obviously maybe even push Tennessee out, like we already talked about. They have Arizona. Marquette has had a nice year. Big East, man, they're still a thing. That's crazy.
Marquette's always good. Dude, they're always
good. Always. You just kind of forget about them though, because they're just up there in Wisconsin. You know?
Wisconsin team. Yeah, it's a weird. Yeah, exactly.
They got Iowa State, another Big 12 team, dude. Like they always seem to be in it too, which is crazy.
Marcus Fizer.
Number 3 seeds, Baylor, another Big 12 team. Duke. I hope, and this is obviously a very biased outlook on things, I hope Duke loses very early on. That whole clown shit with like rushing the court and him acting like he's hurt. He plays the next game. He's fine. And I don't know if you saw recently, I think it might've been against North Carolina. Homeboy literally tripped a guy.
Yeah. He put his injured leg out there and went and stuck it out there. So obviously he was feeling fine. He's Duke's so annoying. They're so annoying.
Yes. We got Creighton and Kentucky. Creighton's always in the mix, like always. Kentucky, they looked incredible against Tennessee. So, I mean, it's a Calipari coach team. You know they have talent. Just, you know, can they put it all together? Go to the 4 seeds, Kansas. Like I said, they've been kind of tripping all over themselves all year. Alabama, strong team. Illinois, hope we don't see them in the tournament because I have PTSD from Illinois. We got the Storm and Mormons, BYU. That'll be interesting.
Another Big 12.
Yeah, another Big 12. Auburn, Clemson, Utah State. Insane. Another Storm and Mormon team. Texas Tech, another Big 12 team. I'm not going to go all the way down, but we'll go a little bit further. Nevada, South Carolina has been good all year. San Diego State, Florida, and then one more time, Boise State, Washington State, who we know all about them, Wisconsin, St. Mary's, and Dayton, Gonzaga, FAU, and Texas. I'm not going to go through all of these because our listeners don't give a shit. But out of some of those teams that I did mention, who gives you kind of the most pause outside of like the top 4?
I think teams outside of the top 4 that are always interesting are going to be the teams that are always interesting. Like certainly Kansas is a 4 seed. Nobody wants to see them if they end up in that role. It's a terrible draw if you're a 1. You end up with 4 seed Kansas coming your way. Obviously, that like you mentioned, they've had their problems, and so it's probably the year you'd want to see them, but you never want to see them. You probably don't want to see Kentucky.
No.
St. Mary's looked really good against Gonzaga tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That's like one of those teams that can be hovering around that 7-8 seed where they kind of had them there. That's dangerous. Like if they end up with an 8 seed and they're in the second round and you see St. Mary's a conference champion, that's not cool. So again, I really just like I feel like I need to get a feel for the brackets, which granted, I'm going to fill out my bracket and everything will be wrong. So the feel that I'm talking about means nothing. But I think from that group, I mean, I think it's the teams that you always don't traditionally want to see because you know the talent's going to be there, and then I think it's anybody who's been a team who's won their league. Like you don't want to see league winners, and you don't want to see teams that have NBA talent. Those are the two things that I think you traditionally and always will want to avoid. And so you You got to play them and beat them at some point, but that's who you're trying to dodge, in my opinion.
Yep, absolutely. I think Olsen brings up a good point. Houston has the most chemistry. Obviously, they're a top 4 team, right? Like number 1 in the country. That team, we saw them front and center 2 years ago. Their defense is always insane. Yep. With I think Calvin Sampson's their head coach still, right? Is that?
Yeah, for sure. And that's the kind of team, like that's kind of team, a Virginia type of team in the past, like any of those teams that are like so pace different.
Yeah,
are always a problem too, right? And I mean, and obviously we're triggered by it as Arizona fans. We play fast. We see something slow, and we're like, "Dude, this is a nightmare. Like, please don't do this. Why are we playing basketball like this? This isn't fun. Stop! Don't do this to us." But just in general, like when you see those guys that are like very different, like right now, what you're gonna get on everything you're looking at on NCAA is like everybody's gonna be charting. Everything's gonna be at an x-axis, a y-axis, and whoever's in those extremes are what you're trying to avoid. You want all those teams that are right in the middle, the very beatable teams that are like solid, but that you can beat all year. Anybody who's like showing up in these corners scare you.
And what's crazy is you've sent me a few of those XY axis things, and Arizona's typically in that top right corner most of the time. So if you're a Cats fan, which I think most of our audience is, it could be a good year. But I will preface this with we do play Tommy ball. And we've seen in the tournament the last couple of years, it doesn't always work out, right? Last year, we ran into just a very disciplined team in Princeton, and we got our shit kicked in. Two years before that, Houston, incredible defensive team, athletes, got our shit kicked in. What I will say, and what I've been saying for the last few weeks, this is the first year where we have a great mixture of like talent, but also like fundamentals, which means just white European guys. And then Caleb Love. I think Caleb Love, I know we keep talking about him, but I've said it all year. You need a guy like that come tournament time, a guy that will just hunt for his own shot. He lives for the moment. We have not had a guy like that in how long? Right? Yeah. Even towards the end of Sean Miller's reign, like we thought we had guys like that. And they weren't those guys. Caleb Love is a bona fide superstar in college basketball, and that can take you a long way in tournament time.
Absolutely.
So in terms of people I fear, basically all the Big 12, they're battle hardened. They're ready to go. That's always going to be tough. And then just your usual powerhouses, right? I don't want to come up on North Carolina right now. They're playing really, really well. I don't want to come up on Kansas because they're just a tournament team. But at the end of the day, I think we can take whoever, right? Hassie says, don't let them party with RJ until after the tournament. I'm going to keep RJ, but I'm also going to keep Wayne Sheridan as far away from the Cats as possible. That's actually why Henny's not going to Vegas. So secret's out, bud. Sorry.
It's like, you can't share my alias, dude. That's like not how aliases work.
Yeah, I know. By the way, if any U of A people are watching this show right now, we never give gambling advice. We actually don't believe in sports gambling. And if you are now suddenly taking podcasts as people you accept into your press conferences, we would love to do that. Jacory would love us to be there, but we definitely don't talk about gambling. Right, Henny?
Right, because we killed Ben.
I'm so mad about that too, by the way. I invited Ben to like make a video about Russell Wilson. I don't know if this is a great segue or not, but NFL free agency and the like. He told me he would. He told me that he would make a video all about Russell Wilson, who is now a Pittsburgh Steeler. Cannot wait for those videos. My God. Gonna send them all to Jacory so he knows all about them. And he didn't. And when I called him out on it tonight, I was like, hey, I need your video, dude. He's like, oh, last night would have been better. And I was like, you mean the night that you told me you would get it to me tomorrow? So Ben lives on. That's all I'll say about Ben. I will say he was not stoked on it. Okay. Not stoked on Russell Wilson. Shocking, right? He's not stoked on Pickett either. But yeah, why don't we start out there? You're our chief Russell Wilson guy. Biggest fan in the room. How do you feel about him going to Pittsburgh?
I think he dropped a pretty good hype video. I think he like got out of his own way and just hired a production team. I thought that was smart. Yeah, like just like keep maybe just like don't even show your face at all. Nice. Good job. Made it all about the Steelers. So I think he's making the right moves there. It's a crazy story arc, man, because like 3 years ago, we were talking about how this guy wanted to become like this iconic guy. And he only wanted to play in LA or New York or these marquee cities, right? And this, as he said, Mr. Unlimited, like he was doing all of it. Goes to Denver, obviously crash and burns, makes a terrible Subway commercial. They have to pull him off the campaign, throws interceptions. He starts to level it out this year, but Sean Payton just won't stop riding his damn ass, man. Just get off my ass, man. And they just couldn't get along, and he's just beating him down. And honestly, then you start to feel bad for him. And now he's back to the Steelers. This guy just annoys the shit out of me. He only goes places I hate, so I just can't ever root for him. Like, dude, I'm trying, man. Like, I was like, I didn't even like. I liked him in Seattle or whatever. He was fine. I just thought he started to get kind of weird. But now he's back now going to Pittsburgh, and they just seem like destined to go 9-8 again. I mean, I think it's like perfect. I mean, I think it keeps them in line for what they've been up to. And I know Steelers fans, like, just are going to continue to long for the days of Big Ben. Those sick bastards. Those sick sickos.
That first Primanti's sandwich Russell Wilson commercial is going to hit so hard, though, dude.
Oh, it's spicy.
Watch out. As he's eating a French fry stuffed sandwich, like every Yinzer ever. I will say this, and I hate fucking saying this. I hate it so much. That video he put out, though, of him like playing Renegade in the background.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's sick.
Renegade goes so hard, dude. Like,
it did go hard. I thought it was a good video. I was like, all right. Like, if I was a Steelers fan, I would have at least been pumped up for a week.
Yeah, that dude. As a Ravens fan that hates everything Pittsburgh adjacent, I couldn't hate on that. I was just like, God damn, this makes Russell Wilson look cool. Renegade is that song, dude. Like, in terms of fit,
he was $5 though. He cost them like $5.
Yeah, he's costing.
So like, you can't be this mad. Like, I mean, he's an average league quarterback. You had less than average. Like, they improved their quarterback position and it cost them nothing.
Yeah.
And it came out with a good hype video. So you got to be happy until camp reports say he sucks again. In my opinion.
His hands are at least fitting to his body, right? We can at least
say
my
understanding.
That.
Yeah,
that's what I heard. I will tell you. So the news came out pretty late, right? I was about to jump in the shower. And I turned to my wife and I was like, "Oh, Russell Wilson signed with the Steelers," because I do this dumb thing where I talk to her about sports news, thinking like she cares. Yeah. And I go, "You know who that is, right?" And she's like, "Yeah, Sierra's husband." And I was like, "Yeah, there we go, baby. That's exactly what I was expecting from you, just on top of it." So at least he's known for that. But I did ask my Ravens group chat what like they thought about it, and they're like, "Oh, well, like Russell Wilson's not who he used to be." True. Absolutely true. But you know what he isn't, Henny? He's not Kenny Pickett. And he's not Mitch Trubisky.
Right. Exactly right.
I think you're being a little harsh with 9-8. I, as a Ravens fan, being in their division, I am a little nervous about it. Because will he mess up? Yes.
He has to play Lamar and Jameis. Good luck, buddy. Good luck.
Is the AFC North not just the hits of NFL, dude? Like Jameis Winston in the AFC North, just because you called it today, right? Like Deshaun's gonna get hurt. He's gonna pull a muscle. He doesn't have a masseuse anymore to rub him out. Well, I shouldn't say rub him out on the pod, but
probably not with that guy.
But like Jameis is gonna be in there. I cannot wait for the one game of Jameis Lamar. Like, just gonna be, you want to talk about all-time viewership? That's Taylor Swift. Watch out. That's what I'm gonna say.
There's worse places he could have landed. It's not like I still want him to have like a pure starting position, but I do believe that, I don't know, this Deshaun thing just seems bad. Like, you know what? There's like the karma things. These things pay themselves off. It started to turn last year. It didn't go well. The entire community rallied around Joe Flacco. They're going to do the same for Jameis. And I like the idea that the Browns just have some weirdo backup quarterback that the city can rally around. So I'm traditionally a Browns hater. I like to laugh at the Browns. I think everybody needs someone in the league that they can kick. But in this instance, I will bury the hatchet if
I
and when
won't.
Jameis is starting.
I won't. I'm sorry, I can't.
I'll do it for Jameis.
Who could he have gone to? I mean, the Patriots, right? Like totally. They
Yeah.
don't have a quarterback. Who else? Like, I think the Jets would have been fun because Aaron Rodgers is going to be the next vice president of the United States, which will
Bury the lead.
we'll get to that. That would have been great, right? Some other teams, dude. Like who else? Go back to Tampa.
Yeah, but Baker's back
Yeah,
with big money. They paid Baker good money too.
yeah. He played well last year. He did. He did.
He did.
He deserves it.
Would have been hilarious for the Panthers to just go ahead and pull the trigger.
Just call it
and
early.
just be like, hey, Bryce, sorry, buddy.
Did the Saints just see enough? They're like, we'd rather go with the guy with eyeliner. Is that what happened?
I mean, that's crazy. That's the thing is, I think he could have went right back to New Orleans and just been the starter. But obviously, they didn't see that way. He likes to win, run up the score. He doesn't believe in victory formation, and so he was out. The writing was on the wall on that one.
Forgot all about that.
But yeah,
I
think there's like plenty of
Olsen
opportunities.
said the Niners would have been fun.
Yeah, I mean, the Niners would have been interesting because, like, always the story is like anybody can win there, and I'm like, oh, give Jameis the keys, baby. Let's see.
Dude, that would have been
the first time it didn't look
so
like
much
that.
fun.
Yeah.
That first 30-30 season with that defense, good God. Let's put.
But Vikings lost a quarterback, right? Like, I mean, there's a ton of opportunities. There is a ton. You could have put him with Justin Jefferson, and they would have scored 30. I mean, like Jefferson probably would have 30 touchdowns. Jameis would have only thrown to him, and it would have been awesome.
Let me tell you, JJ would have signed that extension. You throw Jameis in there. You want to talk about nepotism? Sam Darnold still having a job. Hesse knows all about this. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing that he still is getting starting jobs?
We probably could have Hesse on as a Jets fan as just like the foremost leader on backup quarterbacks. Just be like, hey, tell us about backup quarterback play.
And vice presidential candidates for sure,
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go through free agency now that we're off our boy Jameis. We had to get to him though, right? Let's start off with your boy. All right. Austin Ekeler. I about fell off my dinosaur watching Austin Ekeler go to the Washington Commanders and was like seen as a big signing.
If he's healthy.
No, dude, come on. Like, he's cooked. You saw him run.
I mean, do I think it's a big signing? No, I don't. I don't think it's the world's biggest signing. If he's healthy, like, can they still get some juice out of him? Yeah, probably. But I mean, obviously he didn't look healthy last year. So I don't know if that's the start of the end or it was a one-off scenario. Would I risk it? No. I mean, that's not an investment I was willing to make. So I'm glad. Like, it's okay. I'm happy for Austin. Austin deserved to get paid. He's been a baller. He's been a great running back, or at least in the Hall of Very Good. Great's probably a little bit hyperbolic. But
second time that word has come up. Look at
yeah, I think that's you got it in my head, but then I didn't even know how to say it. I was like, I know how to say this word. You can do it, man. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy for Austin, but I wouldn't have spent it either. So I get it where you're coming from. I'm just, he's been good to me. I'm trying to return the favor.
Tanner wants to know, was he hurt or was the pass game hurt? I assume he means all this stuff with Justin Herbert, or just the simple fact that your coach was a bumbling asshole.
No, he was. I mean, the pass game was hurt, but and the running game was hurt too. Just to be clear, but it's never really. I mean, with Austin, look, the videos are out there. If you think that's a guy flying down the sideline, that had nothing to do with anything going on from the X's and O's standpoint of the pass game. I mean, he just purely was not the same back that he's been in the past. So I think it could just be an injury thing. Like, I don't, from my perspective, but it could be anything. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Hard when you're not in the room.
I think you guys definitely improved getting Gus Edwards. I mean, a little bit of bias on my take, but Gus, incredible goal line back and falls forward, gets, some chunky yards. I'm excited about that for you guys, especially now that you have our former offensive coordinator as now your offensive coordinator. So, Greg Roman, come on down, go get your boy. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's a solid signing. I mean, it didn't cost him. They didn't break the bank on him by any means. So I think, like, in the terms of running back signings, I would be really excited if I got Saquon Barkley. I might have been pretty excited about Aaron Jones, and I think that's the end of my running back list. Everything else after that is kind of, I'd rather have him on the cheap side. I think they're still going to go get it back, probably in the draft. So, if this is your, one of two in your committee and you get a power back out of it, I think it's a good move. And I think mostly what we're learning from this, though, is the writing on the wall that Jim Harbaugh is going to do what we all knew he's going to do, and he's going to try to run power football. He signed a pass blocking, run blocking tight end and a power back. That's the moves that they decided they had to make on day one. So that tells you everything you need to know.
He is who he is, Henny.
Yeah, for sure.
He ain't changing for nobody. Right?
And I ain't mad at him for it. And that's what I mean. If Jim feels like this is right, then I feel like it's right too.
You guys go get Blake Corum, and he's going to bring the whole team back, dude. He's just going to go pure Michigan on you, and you're going to love every bit of it.
No complaints at all.
Let's talk
we got to talk about your back, though, I think.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the running back market. I'll lead off. Yeah. Derrick Henry going to Baltimore. I'm so excited. Like, I don't care if he's 30 or 31, whatever he is, right? Like, the man you saw last year on a shit team, terrible Tennessee team, still put up good numbers, great numbers, was one of the best backs in the league. For me, I just look at that as like, dude, you saw what Lamar did with Gus Edwards, just in terms of when they went power or whatever. You throw freaking Derrick Henry in there, dude, like, good luck, And some of my favorite memes are the ones where they have like Patrick Ricard and Derrick Henry, and it's just like, good luck, because those guys are just going to hit you in the mouth. And then when you do want to stack the box, you have Lamar Jackson, who was number one in the league at beating that kind of coverage with runs to the outside. Like, as a defense, I don't know what you do. I truly don't know how you stop those two together.
I think you just put 8 in the box and say, see you next year.
Maybe, right? But like, even then, dude, like, this is what the Ravens needed. And
it's an exciting signing for sure. I personally, I've been weary. Look, he's like still putting up good numbers, but like, I'm very weary of when does he
finally hit the wall?
Yeah. Like, when is the wall? When you're looking at it, when you're watching him, you're like, dude, no way this still works. But it does, and it has been, and he's been productive. So for everybody who's been trying to knock him off for a couple of years, like, everybody's been wrong, and everybody can be wrong again. I think it's a little bit of a scary signing.
I think it probably helps extend his career too a little bit, right? Because now he's not as relied upon as he was in Tennessee. You do have Lamar, who can run the ball very effectively. The Ravens are going to go get another back probably in the draft. They have Keaton Mitchell, who really looked good.
Flashed.
Yeah, he flashed. I think it's going to help his career out a lot. I'm super excited about it. A lot of people in the league are excited about it. Unfortunately, it happened, 6 months too late. They were having these talks at the trade deadline, and Tennessee didn't want to give him up. Well, that's fine. Now you don't get shit for him, and he's still a Baltimore Raven. So, I don't know, dude. We signed Mark Ingram, and Mark Ingram was 30, and he gave us, a couple good years. I think he's better back than Mark Ingram. So
he definitely is.
I'm excited about that. You mentioned Saquon going to Philly. That's a guy you want to talk about if healthy. My God, that offense right there, as long as Jalen Hurts is done looking like Marcus Mariota. Did you see that, by the way? What Jalen Hurts looks like now?
No.
Oh, my God, dude. Hold on. Jalen Hurts shaves. Let me pull this up for you and the listeners, because he
shaved his face and looks like Marcus Mariota?
Yes, dude. He looks so much. Let me pull this up. I'm going to share it really quick. All right. He looks so much like Marcus Mariota to me. I could be totally wrong, but you see that right there? Let me zoom in real quick.
Yeah, I can see him in there a little bit. He definitely doesn't look like, I will say he doesn't look like what I normally think of him as looking like. Like, it does change his face dramatically in some direction.
Swag is gone, bro. It's gone. They're going to have a tough time.
Choice.
I think this past year just really, really got to him. I don't think he's doing well. I think we need to really, really pray about Jalen Hurts. They did sign Marcus Mariota. I don't know if you saw that. He's actually on the Eagles now. So
that's a mean offense, man. Adding Saquon.
Stupid, right?
Yeah, like that is Yes, like if healthy and if they have all the things going, then a lot of people are gonna have to like write some sorry Jalen Hurts tweets. Like I didn't know, because like people like are waiting to pounce on him and doubt on him, which I understand. I understand he's been in a good offense. He's going to continue to be in that, and everybody's going to kind of give him the Brock Purdy treatment essentially. But damn, they could be scoring some points.
Yeah, Hesse actually told me a story earlier. His cousin lives in New York. He's a Giants fan. And Hesse was like, dude, Saquon to Philly. And his cousin was like, yeah, who cares? I hope we go get Eckler.
Yeah, that's not it, dude.
Delusion at the highest, highest form, bro.
I can appreciate it though. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Dude, but Quadzilla in Philly, that's going to be insane. I just hope he stays healthy. I've always loved Saquon, like since his Penn State days.
Yeah.
You saw what they did with DeAndre Swift last year, kind of like reignited his career. He's in Chicago now, which that's a good move for Chicago. But dude, if you give the ball to Saquon when healthy, the same type of way you did to DeAndre, like I think honestly, if you're doing fantasy next year, I know you don't take running backs too early, but he should be in the discussion if you're picking you're going to be picking the first round, but like how early do you take a Saquon? Because that offense will make him better.
Yeah, that's he's never been behind a good line or been a part of a good offense ever. No. And we're all still drooling over the possibility of him, right? So I think that just says a lot. And so the Saquon one was a big one, no doubt.
Yeah, I was hoping that he would come to Baltimore, but I'll take Derrick Henry. I'm fine with that. Tony Pollard, kind of had a lot of hype, right? This past year for the Cowboys, didn't really deliver all too much. He goes to Tennessee. That's an interesting move. Bad team. So we'll see what happens with that. Who were some of the other running backs that signed?
Every running back. Aaron Jones went to Minnesota.
Yes, weird move. I feel like this stage of his career, he could have gone somewhere and actually made more of a difference. Don't you feel like that?
Definitely. That's like the bummer about him is like, yeah, it really felt like because again, he's another guy. Like, I mean, he's going to split carries in the backfield wherever he went. Like you knew that was going to be the case. That's sort of always been his story. And in just terms of keeping him healthy, but he's dynamic and he was a game changer when he was out there. So for him to go to Minnesota, which I don't know what Minnesota is supposed to look like next year at this point. Kind of nervous if I'm a Vikings fan.
Yeah.
You got Jefferson already, allegedly turning down a contract. So already just kind of, he's giving the NBA treatment, leaving the tea leaves out there like, hey, baby, I'm gone. But I don't know. That was a weird one. That was a weird one to me too.
You know which one I did like was Josh Jacobs going to the Packers. Yeah. That's a cool fit. I like that. Obviously that's why Aaron Jones is available. They went out and signed homeboy, but like, dude, that was a team that surprised a lot of people, and adding his caliber back to that team, like that's only going to help Jordan Love. Like he's good in like all aspects of being a back. So that was one of my favorite ones. And we already mentioned DeAndre Swift to the Bears too.
Jacobs is really good. That's the other one I missed when I was mentioning like other backs that I would have been sincerely interested in. Jacobs was the one that had like a little bit of whisper about like whether the Chargers would have been interested. And I think actually that one was the most perfect fit in my eyes for what I saw for us. So yeah, nice job by the Packers. And he's going to be an awesome back running downhill in the cold.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's talk about the quarterbacks really quick. Obviously we already talked about Russ, but we did have a pretty big signing there in Atlanta. Kirk Cousins, dude. I thought Russ would go to Atlanta. I think Kirk might be an even better fit. He's still good. He's coming off an injury, but
he's still solid. I'm surprised. I'll forever be surprised at the money Kirk demands and gets.
$500 million, dude.
And gets. So for everybody who's given the Kirk the Hall of Fame treatment from, making dollar bills, I understand it. It's ridiculous. The guy has made a grip of money. It's good. Quick. I mean, they got to get better.
Riddle me this. Why did they give Kirk that contract, but they wouldn't give that to Lamar last year?
Yeah, I mean, I know I've seen that out there a million times. I would like to know how serious that conversation ever was, or if they would have had to give up some sort of like they would have had to give up assets too, though, right?
I mean, probably, right? But I mean, today, you'd probably do that, right? Give up an asset for Lamar Jackson,
I
MVP, two-time
mean, they
MVP.
have the same playoff success though, right?
No, Kirk, yeah, I guess you're right. Kirk beat the Saints. He got he got all the way to the NFC Championship, right?
I think he's only won one game, but like ever. So I mean, but I don't know like what is Lamar. I mean, that's the thing. And I'm not even trying to say like, oh,
Yeah,
Lamar
you're not even
sucks,
trying
like
to
Kirk,
troll.
whatever.
No, I know.
No, I'm like genuinely not. I'm just like I don't know. Like I just think like the assets part does make it interesting. I know it's definitely the easy joke to make, and I definitely agree that I chuckle at it because it does sound crazy, right? It does.
Yeah,
Like I mean, just even if you just wanted people to come to the games, I'd much rather have Lamar if you only took it from that standpoint. And then if you're just talking about like, do you think this is going to make our franchise better? And now we can make the playoffs every year. I would say Kirk's going to give you that chance, and I would say Lamar is actually going to get you there. So yeah, I think
yeah,
Lamar's still a better. I would rather have Lamar, blah blah blah. But I don't know. Kirk thinks it's interesting. I mean, it does. It makes him instantly better. It certainly
yeah,
does. But I don't know. He's 36, man.
yeah. That's where I fall. Like you gave him that contract, and he's 36 years old. So it's like,
Yeah,
why? What are we doing? You know what I
yeah.
mean? So I don't know. The rest of the moves made so far, anything really stick out to you? I like Danielle Hunter in Houston. That's a good signing to go along with what they built on through the draft last year. I'm looking
You
at the
should definitely
list.
look up the notification on what was it, the D tackle who signed with the Raiders. Great picture, some great imagery on that one.
Christian
On the
Watkins
on the announcement
or
from the
Wilkins.
the Wilkins signing, the Raiders announcement where it looks like he's crapping out a Raiders helmet. Really good stuff. For some reason, they had him squatting over a Raiders helmet. They thought that was a good look. Not sure why.
Very on brand, you
Very
know.
on brand by the Raiders, just being a little bit weird, just a little off.
Ooh, I know we haven't talked about Brian Burns getting traded to the Giants. How about that?
I don't even know who Brian Burns is.
Dude, the outside linebacker from Carolina? Like, dude, he's one of the best. Come
They won two
on, man.
games. Well, you think I was watching a lot of Panthers last year?
I know that my boy Tanner Honeycutt was, so that's fine. He'll pick up on it. But no, dude, he's incredible. And you want to talk about all-time bag fumbling by the Panthers. Like that guy, the Rams offered 2 firsts and a third last year for him. And they said no. And then this year they traded him for I think a second and a fourth. So yeah, teams don't wait too long because this is what happens. And Giants got better. Him and Kayvon Thibodeau are going to be very, very nice. It's too bad that they still have Danny Dimes at quarterback.
Well, I think that goes to your boy Chase's point, who I just was seeing on Twitter. Our fantasy guru there was just talking about how there's some GMs out there seem to be more worried about winning the deal than doing what's right for their franchise, and I think that probably falls into that category.
Yeah, that's pretty dumb, but that'll happen. Oh, hey, I didn't notice this. Kenneth Murray signed with the Titans.
Yeah, I know he was out. But I didn't see where he landed. Nor was I concerned, or did I care. So see you later. Kendricks also. See you later. There's going to be some other names, really from the Chargers standpoint. Just curious to see if anybody comes out of the wash in terms of can they even move any of these big time guys for a 6th round pick, or is everybody just going to get cut?
Yeah, I know we're going to do Twitter fingers here in a little bit, but that was a good tweet that I had sent you. The whole, the Chargers are looking to trade Mac and Bosa, and it's just like, who's taking that on?
Yeah, they have the same problem with Williams and Keenan Allen, and I know there's some articles written today about like people like trying to get. I'm like, dude, I just don't think anybody trades for anybody when they're like, when they're on the rope like that.
Who, as a Charger fan, who would you be okay, getting cut or getting traded?
Bosa can go right now. Yeah. No problem. I'll open the door for him. It's not a problem.
He'll trip on the way out and break his femur.
Exactly. And then I'll be like, someone else's problem now. Sweep up that garbage out on the front porch. Yeah, I don't hate him. I have no problem with Bosa, but he's just injured. He's just too often injured.
Always.
So, I mean, it's really like that with both situations, right? I'd much rather have Keenan Allen for whatever he is, for his age, for whatever the number is. He's still productive. Khalil Mack, same thing. For whatever he is, his age, if he has some limitations now, he's still expensive. He's productive. Bosa and Mike Williams cannot stay on the field those are the guys that have to be the casualties, whatever that looks like. I don't even know. I don't even really think it hurts us. So, I mean, if you end up cutting him at the end of the day, I don't even see it as
they don't play.
something that change. It doesn't. Yeah, it does. Like, how does that change our squad? Like, how does that change anything that we do? So,
you should keep Mac. Mac would be fun.
Yeah, it'd be nice to keep Mac, and it'd be nice to keep Keenan Allen. I mean, Keenan Allen is. I mean, that's what Herbert knows to this point in his life. When in doubt, when in doubt, like that's where we're going, and it's been all him. 106, 108 catches, whatever it was this year, hyper productive still.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, NFL free agency, we didn't touch on everything, but there's just so much to it, guys.
There's a lot.
It's impossible. You'd be sitting here all night. Let's get to one of our favorite parts of the show. Twitter fingers, Mr. Henningsen, you've been sending me stuff, I feel like all week. So let me go ahead. We will start sharing our screen to twitter.com or x.com, whatever you feel like calling it anymore. And let's get through some of these, bro. I sent you a few too. Let's just
see what we get. Show me what we got.
So the first one up, we have New England is pushing to sign free agent wide receiver Calvin Ridley, but sources believe that he currently prefers to return to Jacksonville and has been discussing a deal with the Jaguars. This wonderful human commented he wants Mac Jones throwing him the ball in Jacksonville so bad so he can bet on the under every week.
This poor bastard will never get away from it.
I love
He'll never survive it. Mac Jones, by the way, Jesus.
Yeah, what a fall from grace, right?
Like, I mean, just
what even happened with him?
No, he has Duke basketball face too. He's just the worst.
Yeah, he's like the Duke basketball of the NFL for sure.
Yeah, he just gives you that vibe, and it's just all bad.
Is Calvin Ridley even gonna go back to the Jags though? Because they just signed Gabe Davis too to like a pretty beefy contract.
Yeah, I know. Like he was being heavily pursued. I mean, like as mentioned here, like in the actual article prior to that, there's some teams going after him, but I don't know. He had a productive year though, right? I mean, he was solid.
Yeah,
but like not like incredible. So he's sort of in that in between space where there's so many good wide receivers now.
Yeah. So that's our first one. This is what we've been wanting we've been dying to talk about this all night.
Who doesn't want to talk about this? Yeah, we all want to talk about this.
Sauce Gardner. So let me preface this. Aaron Rod, actually, you know what? You sent me the tweet about it earlier. Why don't you?
Tom Pelissero basically announces, there's been reports coming in. So yes, he has sources now. It's been sourced out. It's actually been tipped by other people like earlier in the week. But finally, we have an actual reporter coming in saying that it is possible that, Aaron Rodgers has been talking to RFK about his possibility of being his potential VP. One of many or of a few others that are in consideration. And certainly this is interesting from Sauce. So I'll let you share that component and then we can get into some other thoughts.
So Sauce, Aaron's about to become the VP. That's why he ain't been answering my text messages. Yeah. Oh my God. First of all, let's peel this back like an onion or a, 7-layer chip dip.
Nice.
Yeah. Dude, first of all, Aaron did the same shit last year. Didn't talk to anybody because he was too busy being in his isolation chamber. Now he's out here politicking. I don't know what to make of Aaron Rodgers anymore, dude. Like, what is it with Packer quarterbacks or former Packer quarterbacks that they leave Green Bay and just fall off their rocker? Like,
dude, it has me really concerned about the idea of anybody living there, honestly. Like there just must be a certain amount of those winners, if you're not built different, that you just can't handle it. It's this is such an interesting and what I saw a couple of things that I saw out there that I thought were really funny, where it's just like someone threw out odds of like, plus 750 actually becomes the VP, plus 500. He actually, turns it down, but then, negative 10,000, he with a sheepish grin blames the media and says it was never really a story, like the entire time. And then, mentions some minute detail, and forgive us, cause I'm not going to be able to, give the source on who wrote that joke. But I was like, dude, this is just classic Aaron. And, this is what happens. I mean, Joe Rogan, for whatever he is, and I don't really have a strong opinion one way or the other. By all means, I've listened to him. People, you can listen to him, but be careful if you let it become your full personality, because this is the danger that you run. You might think you will be the next vice president of the United States when really you should just be quarterbacking the Jets. But what a story.
I hope it happens. Like, I hope, because RFK Jr. is running as an independent. Not to get political on the show. I don't care.
No, yeah, that's whatever. Who cares? Yeah.
But if he legitimately makes Aaron Rodgers his VP, and who was the other one that
I know? I'm trying to remember now. I'm like, I got so Aaron Rodgers brained. It's
Jesse Ventura.
Jesse Ventura, the body, the former governor of Minnesota, who also knows the cold. Also not afraid.
What a shit show America is, dude. Let's get out.
Which, by the way, Jesse the Body Ventura's performance in Predator, incredible.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Jesse the Body Ventura in Predator, you are missing out in life, and you should check that out. It's a really good random thought by me, but definitely get into Predator, a movie that came out 30 years ago. You'll be stoked.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. All right. Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
All in.
Yeah, you read it. Yeah. I was like, you read it. Pause.
Obviously, Skip is a huge Cowboys guy. They have not done a single thing. So once Derrick Henry signed with the Baltimore Ravens, this is what Skip decided to put on. This isn't even about his post necessarily. It's about every comment on here. That comma in this sentence. The comma. If it wasn't for the comma, this would have been an entirely different meaning with Booger.
100%.
Oh, dude,
it's an all-time tweet. It's in 4 words. He did it, no less. 2 pieces of punctuation and quite a statement.
The Cowboys, though, goddamn, every year we're gonna go all in, and they do nothing. And this is the type of content it creates, and I thank you, Cowboys, for that. So
I don't even know how to ask Cowboy fans how they feel about the future anymore. I'm just kind of still pity ask them, but I'm not trolling you. I'm just curious, are you dead inside yet?
Honey, why would you ever ask a Cowboys fan about the future when all they can think about is the past? So, you like that? That was good, huh? That was actually pretty good, right?
I was like, yeah, well done, Mufasa.
Staying on the Cowboys train, we got Deuce Vaughn warming up week 1 as Dallas Cowboys RB1.
Do we know the real story on this?
I wish I did.
I was like, is this a child? Is this a tiny person? Do we know what's going on here?
I love it, though. Deuce Vaughn, 5'5", going to be starting at quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. So
I'd like to see me some Deuce, honestly.
I liked him at Kansas State.
I know, me too. I'm like, Deuce was electric, man. Let's do it.
That's a great tweet, though. All right, now we're getting into the stuff you sent me. So we're going to go some golf action here.
And in first place with a score of 46. Jordan Goins, Ronald Keeling, Alex Charles, and Kendall Wagenoff.
So that's your classic group of scramble cheaters, putting down a 46 on their 18-hole adventure. Of course, the man you see collecting that certificate is the most athletic man you've probably ever seen. So they're a bunch of liars and cheaters and whatever. This all is in reference to, though, the Live tour came out saying that basically they had something like, and I don't know, this is probably some loose reporting because this is one of these stupid Twitter accounts. But according to this one Twitter account, that they had 4.5 million viewers of the Live tournament over the weekend on what is called Caffeine TV, which if you haven't heard of it, it's probably because you're not a diehard Live fan, not one of the 4.6 strong that are definitely tuning into Live each weekend. I just couldn't believe how funny that tweet was. It's ridiculous if they were sharing any sort of information. Nobody's watching Caffeine TV. Nobody knows what that is.
Never heard of
where
it.
To find it. We were making fun of them when they were on the CW. It's gotten worse. I still have no idea. All of this to say, we still have no freaking clue what's going on in the golf world. It's all, it's just ridiculous. It's Looney Tunes. It's nuts. I don't know what's going on, but this made me laugh.
Everybody booing.
Yeah.
It pans over.
Yeah.
Great tweet. Great.
I mean, 46 is, by my count, 26 under. Pretty good 18, even in a scramble.
With a body built by Burger King. Dude.
Yeah, yeah, dude. That's like a 6X shirt he's wearing.
Yeah.
Not to body shame, but I mean, yeah.
All right, let's look at Mr. Ant. Look at that block, dude. God, and then hits his head.
Yeah. We just had to talk about this block. Also, remember, this is it. Now we'll go back to Skip. Skip said, easiest block I've ever seen.
Yeah. Most Skip thing ever. Dude, when this happened.
My ass, Skip, my ass.
Yeah, my ass. Dude, his interview after the fact, I don't know if you have that in our Twitter inbox.
I don't think so. I should have grabbed that one instead.
That was great as well. But also the thing I sent you where he said he got DNA tested, or not DNA, he got drug tested. And he came back with Michael Jordan DNA.
Exactly. Dude, I mean, we're like 2 years away from having another rumor that somehow it's Jordan's kid anyways, like Jimmy Butler and like anybody else who is that guy. But and continues to be like he's incredible. Like athletically, it doesn't get any better than what Ant's delivering.
Oh, look, Ja'Cory just joined. Ja'Cory, you're just in time for Twitter Fingers, but we're going to keep you up to date on everything that we know you missed. So,
oh man, got to get back to Russ, Ja'Cory. We got to catch you up.
Yeah. All right.
He's up to it again.
Oh, this is your guy.
This is my guy. This is if you're a golfer, this is your guy now.
Roots, we're all swinging it here, and then we're over the top. No. What is the genesis of this, Marooch? If we swing it out here, as if we were going to throw a rock, well, then we're up here. And where's the weight going? This way. This way. I can't come over the top, even if I tried. Whip it back. Now we're moving this way, allowing us to access the Holy Grail position. This is the Holy Grail of modern power golf. And you attained it 20 years ago, Marooch, when you were skimming stones. Skim the stone, Maroochie! Maroochie on the toes. Whip her back. Zero gravity, Marooch. Skim the stone.
My God. I learned so much about golf right now.
Dude, the thing is I'm dialed and he's keeping it real simple. The guy is literally giving great insight and knowledge. But I also like that he's screaming at you. You'll also like this dude. And he's got a couple where they've mixed in a little system in the down in the background, so it's going really hard. You know,
Yeah.
You know the deal. Like I was like, none of that. What I just did was any good, but I was giving effort. I'm still not even sure what a Marooch is, but I want to start calling people that. But I need to probably do some research before I do that. In fact, I might need to apologize because I'm not even sure again what I'm saying. But I love it. The guy's awesome. There's a lot of like really heady golf stuff, and I don't want any part of it. So for me, that's right up my alley.
I legit did learn a lot about golf there, though. Like power stance, Holy Grail. Like I need to get out on the course again. You know, just to try that out.
Yeah, I've long believed, and I never thought about it as skipping rock, but like that position right there, that's it. That's where you do everything athletically. Is kind of right there. Yeah. So
engage your core.
Yeah, you're welcome for everybody whose game we fixed, and it was working for me. Out there playing with Pops, I feel like he was like, "Hey, you got a little thing going on here. It's not so bad."
All right, this one you sent me is just absolutely terrible. Go ahead.
I don't even remember what we got going on. Oh, God, that's right. We got Big Baby Davis. And basically, he's talking about his throwback to that time he was shooting pornos or whatever the hell he's got going on for his job. Some guy comments like, blah, blah, blah. My kids look up to you. And he's like, hey, man, I'm trying to earn a living. My life's different now. Tell him after basketball, life will change. He's going to have to find a real job. This is me trying new things. So he basically politely told him to shove off. This is my life now, dude. Get off my ass. But hey, good for Big Baby Davis, man. Guy's got to make a living,
Would you expect anything different from Big Baby, though?
No, Big Baby, like nothing about Big Baby has ever said that he was going to slow down or do life differently for anything or anyone. No. He's been doing it how he's been doing it, and I applaud him for it. I thought this was
I love
Who's, which by the way, like guys, like don't, I mean, it's fine if like your athletes are sort of your heroes, but like let's not throw all the eggs in that basket. I don't think
Yeah.
following Big Baby Davis is going to lead your child to porn unless you're a shitty parent.
It's true. It's true. All right, next one. I feel this heavy. Breaking a trade in the group text with your boys and feeling like Adam Schefter.
Yeah.
It's funny you sent me that, dude. So I have a friend named Wyatt that's a huge Eagles fan. And I sent him a text. I was like, oh my God, Saquon to the Eagles. And he's like, wait, what? And apparently like his ESPN app had not sent him the notification yet. And he's like, how did you know that, bro? And I had to like put on a whole like dog and pony show about how like I just know things, you know? And I said, that's why you subscribe to Jump Shots from the Goal Line. So all you people out there listening,
Damn right.
you follow us. All right. We break the news before even ESPN. But yeah, there's no greater feeling, just guys being dudes, than just breaking the news to your friends first.
This always feels great. I mean, first of all, every group chat has a Schefter.
It's true.
Like
Usually
there
me.
is a guy who's like generally ahead of it. And I think in like some, you know, today, for example, you sent Derrick Henry. I wasn't even sure what that meant yet. You know, it was just Derrick Henry. So you were breaking the news to me and I was like, well, like where? You know, like what? It's always a good one, man.
We broke the news on this episode. Tanner had no idea that Derrick Henry went to the Ravens. So
there you go. There you go.
Sports Center who? You know?
We're all Schefters.
All right, the next one we already kind of went over. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has recently approached Jets QB, blah, blah, blah. We can go to this one, though. This is all you, bro.
Yeah, so this name's incredible. So Dick Holdest to ever do it, Crawford, has officially committed to LSU, which is like one of like 5 schools that he only could have went to in my mind, by the way. You have to go to like one of the swaggiest schools if your name's going to be Dick Holdest to ever do it, Crawford. The Crawford sets it off for me. Like if it was just the coldest to ever do it, I'd be like too much, like kind of a clown show.
Yeah.
The coldest to ever do a Crawford, I'm kind of in on. And dude, these names just continue to get better. Like, right, Kool-Aid's a great name.
Kool-Aid McKinstry, yep.
Yeah, who doesn't like to call? I mean, we could go on, you know, and yeah, I know that, you know, Key and Peele did a sketch about this and like, ha ha ha. But like, you can name your kid whatever you want. If this guy is in fact the coldest to ever do it, it's going to look real sick. And I would love to see Tava do it on a jersey. No offense to Crawford, because I'm sure it's the family name. But if we can get to coldest or Tava do it on a jersey, that thing's going to sell.
Had to go to LSU, though. You're completely right in that.
Yeah, it's like LSU, Miami, right? There's only a handful of schools where this really works.
All right, last one. Let's see.
Yeah.
Winthrop University recently announced scholarships for a pair of celebrated cornhole players. Jason Gann, what it signals for college sports and its competitive growth of the casual backyard game. We have reached ESPN the Ocho.
We've reached the Ocho and we've missed our calling. We were just a generation of too far. Athletically, I believe I can compete at this level.
Yeah, I think you could even do like competitive pickleball.
Sure. I mean, although Nick Foles, is already won a pretty big, lofty pickleball tournament. So I think the real athletes are already taking over pickleball, honestly. But
could be
throwing bags in a hole. I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah, have a Miller Lite in your hand. You're good to go,
keep
bud.
it to rec games. Yeah, a little balance with the beer, and I'm good. So
good slate. Good slate of Twitter fingers tonight. I appreciate your hard, diligent work putting that together, friend.
Yeah, grinding, just grinding, waiting for stupid things to come to me.
If you only knew how long I put into that.
Just grinding. Yeah, I was like, I have been stretching.
Well, man, we are coming up. Like I said, March Madness around the corner. NFL free agency is going to keep on going. But hey, we are in March. Spring has sprung. The golf courses are calling people's names. Full swing. Season 2 is out. You're going to get the itch. You're going to go out on the course. There's no better way to do it than with our sponsor, Tasty. Make sure you hit the course with that little grab bag right there, because it's much better than anything else you can take on the course with you. Believe us. We take them when we go on the course. Henny's a big, tasty guy.
Lemon lime, man. That's my kick right now. Lemon lime. It really does. First time I ever talked about Tasty's reminding me of a Gatorade. The lemon lime really takes me there. actually quite clutch, man. Really been vibing with it. It's been a perfect weather season for it, like you mentioned, and you said it.
Yeah, tis the season, right? Some people look forward for Christmas. Some people look forward to the 4th of July. Henny looks forward to the first time the weather gets great enough that he can golf all weekend and not get sunburned. Maybe.
Yeah, watch this color change as the season goes.
But as you guys hit the course, make sure you hit up Tasty. You can follow them. I believe, what is it? Just Tasty or taste-t.com. Go out, go get yourself a little grab bag, and leave the dip or whatever else at home. They are awesome. So with that, guys, make sure you're following us: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're on all of it. You can share it to all your friends. All these stupid little clips that I put out, you can share it with your friends. Build this show up. We've grown immensely in the last 2 years. I can't even believe it. Henny and I thought we would do this for maybe a couple episodes and then be like, well, that was fun. Guess what? Coming up on 2 years. Actually, I think it actually had, this might be coming up on our 2-year anniversary, bro. I think like
Dude, we gotta,
April. You want to go to dinner?
Big plan. I was like, yeah. I had this picture us like out of Fridays or whatever, and just like, so it's like our podcast anniversary. Do you guys do anything for that, or
Hooters with the boys? You know,
you guys do anything? No
Hooters with the
desserts or
fellas?
anything. Okay, we were just thinking maybe like a chocolate lava cake or something. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's a birthday. Oh, for
Yeah.
who? Our podcast.
Yeah.
But make sure you guys are sharing it so we can continue to grow. We would love to continue to do more events, trying to get our foot in the door, maybe college sports. We would love if another golf tournament came back. We love doing that stuff and putting it out for you guys. But it takes you guys to share the show, give us those 5-star reviews, get our listenership even higher, and grow our social media game as well. We need you guys. You guys have come in clutch the last 2 years, but we need you even more. So make sure you're sharing it. Leave those awesome reviews, follow or subscribe on YouTube, and continue to grow our brand. So we appreciate y'all. Hope you enjoyed the episode. We'll be back next week after conference tournament week. So big show next week too. With that, bye.